welcome to episode 20 of the Dunk's Movie Corner podcast. I am Duncan or Dunk. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. If you are new, or even if you aren't and you want a little refresher of what this is, every week I watch some movies, I watch some shows. I might have thoughts on those movies and shows, so I figured I'd ramble for anywhere from 10 to 15, 25 minutes or so about what I watched that week, and then I share it with you fine folk. In all realities, this is more of a companion podcast to the Movie Bros podcast, which is a weekly podcast I do with my brother Hayden. That's where we pick one movie, watch it, discuss, banter, argue, kind of ramble about it. So this is kind of just something, a little teaser for that, realistically. So if you like this and you want something a little bit more substantial, the Movie Bros podcast is anywhere from 40 minutes to a little over an hour. That's posted weekly on Sundays. These episodes I usually post every Monday or Tuesday or so. So otherwise, that's kind of realistically what this is. And if you made it through the intro and you're still interested, let's kind of get into it. And a week is a loose term because it's not always exactly 7 days. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 9. Some weeks just kind of get away from me and I watch a lot. Sometimes, like this week, life happened where there was a storm, technically a cyclone bomb that hit the state. And this specifically hit the area that I live in, where didn't have power slash internet for a bit, so didn't watch as much movies or shows. But with that in mind, I started the week by watching Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is in part for the Movie Bros podcast. This is one of the movies we chose for our Thanksgiving special. So once a month we pick a holiday on that podcast. We watch a couple movies kind of that's themed at least towards that month's holiday. So first we watched Knives Out, which is all about family and a murder mystery, and then we also watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, which it's been out for a while. It's one of my I mean, obviously we talked this thing to death on the podcast, so listen for it when it comes out on Thanksgiving Day, but it is one of my favorite movies. The cast is fantastic, the music is great, the writing, the framing, the cinematography, all the things. If you just want just a great watch, to be honest. I don't know if it's available anywhere. I snagged a copy from a friend and watched it at home. I think this is before we lost power. So check that out. If I think you can probably rent it for $3 or $4 off Amazon. Most everything is rentable off Amazon these days. And I'm also continuing to watch. I should probably just reference this either now or at the end. I finished The Penguin, which was wonderful and fantastic, and I see that they could do a second season. I don't know if they really need to. I think it was nice as like a one shot 12 episode series. Either way, but I'm still almost done with the Hulu show Normal People. This is Paul Mescal, Daisy Edgar Jones, their love story from like high school through college and all the mistakes that humans make in relationships. It's very good. I'm on I believe I'm on episode 7 now. I'm really trying not to binge it all in a day because I definitely could. They're only, I think they're 30-minute episodes, so truly trying to savor it because it is very good, and I don't want it to almost be over because I don't want to go find something else. But just so you know, I have been watching that. And then for our weekly episode of the Movie Bros, I watched Tales from Earthsea. You may have seen some of our posts about it on Instagram. Again, this podcast is Dunk's Movie Corner Pod, and the Movie Bros is the movie_bros. It was not great. We didn't exactly love it at all. The poster has dragons on it. The first 5 minutes has dragons, and the last 5 minutes has dragons. But the almost 2 hours in the middle, no dragons. Very boring. Nothing happens. People stare at each other in fields. The backgrounds were amazingly well painted, but the animation in the foreground kind of lackluster, if I'm honest. So, oh, I forgot I do rate these. So, Fantastic Mr. Fox was a 5 out of 5, obviously. Normal People I have not rated yet because I'm not done with it. but Tales from Earthsea, I would give it like a 1.5, 2 if I'm being generous. Super underwhelming. I would not seek this out. I would not recommend this. What a boring fucking time. Jesus. From there, I watched because I needed something a little bit more fun and interesting. Because man, that was such a snooze fest. I watched something called Lucky Number Slevin, Slevin, and this is like if you combined a Guy Ritchie movie, which if you know him, his style, and a like Quentin Tarantino Pulp Fiction. Really, lots of fun. Lots of people. It was Bruce Willis, Josh Hartnett, Stanley Tucci, Morgan Freeman. Super under the radar. Had never even known it was a thing. It was just a recommendation off one of the streaming services. I think I watched it off Tubi. I don't even remember how I got on there, to be honest. Oh, and Tales from Earthsea, if you are curious, is on HBO Max. But yeah, Lucky Number 11, I would give that like 3.5, maybe even 4 stars. Lots of fun. Uh, yeah, definitely something I would say check out. From there, I stayed on Tubi because again, I feel like this is just a streaming service that I never really. It's like the discount one where you don't really need to pay, but it does have ads on everything. But it also has titles that most of the streaming service don't even bother to pick up, like something called The Sisters Brothers. The cover's cool looking. It's a western. It has like all the things that would make it good. So like John C. Riley and Joaquin Phoenix as a pair of brothers, outlaws, assassins. Jake Gyllenhaal, Riz Ahmed. Yeah, it's in a weird, cool crew, but it just never really. It never was. I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. It was good, but I don't know between the cast and like the post. I mean, sometimes I'm a very visual. Like, hey, if you can sell me on a poster, I'm fucking in. And it was never that exciting. It was never that interesting. I found that I'm actually becoming. I know he is like a lot of actors and a lot of people say that Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best actors of like the era or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I've started to not like him. I understand he can act, but I don't know. I think he could maybe pick different roles, maybe something mix it up a little bit because recently everything I've seen him in, he's kind of always this like not unhinged, but like this awkward. Not awkward's not even the right word. Just like nonconformist, like arrogant person. Like I don't know. He picks different. I would say to try to pick something else to not A to get typecast, but also B so we the audience see that you can do more than just kind of be an asshole. Because the last several movies, he's kind of just been an asshole. Sorry, that's just a little rant about Joaquin Phoenix. But yes, Sisters Brothers. If you have time, I'd say maybe check it out. I wouldn't probably like go out of my way to tell people about this, but enjoyable enough. From there, I worked a long day, and this was, I think, Saturday night. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Saturday night after we got power back at my work. It was like crazy hell's bells. Like I was hustling for like 11 hours. That's just sometimes the way that service industry works. I get home to my parents because they're watching my dog for me, and they had literally just started. They were like 10 minutes into Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I don't know why they decided to rewatch that one. However, I think it might be my favorite Harry Potter. So I sat and stayed up way too late and paid the price the next day when I had to work early and then had Friendsgiving plans, but then I ended up accidentally taking a nap, so I missed Friendsgiving. It was a whole thing. But the reason why I think this is maybe my favorite Harry Potter is the first 2 movies, maybe even 3 almost. I mean, 3, Prisoner of Azkaban's a little bit darker, but the first 2 at least are very much like kids' movies. Then on the other side, it's way too serious. Yes, Sirius Black, almost a joke. Maybe, maybe not. Between Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, The Order of the Phoenix, and Half-Blood Prince. This is the middle ground where, like, yes, things are not kiddie, but they're still exciting. There's still fun. So like, oh, there's a dragon, okay, and then there's this underwater part, okay, and then there's a maze, and there's like budding relationships, and there's the stirrings of evil that are like this. I think, granted, the only issue I have with this movie maybe is Harry Potter's hair. I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know if there's any 14-year-old or whatever, however, I think he's 14, that looks like this, but wow, that is like a massive birds it's weird, it's a bird's nest for, like, the entire movie, and then the one scene where they have to go to the Yule Ball or whatever, where they're dancing, where, Emma Watson actually looks kinda cute. At the time, I'm sure I probably had a crush on her when I was that age, I don't know. Either way, that's the one time where Harry actually, like, combs his hair and looks like a normal, presentable person, and the rest of the movie, he's just got this, like, mop, this massive, like, shag carpet mop thing on his head, and it's never addressed, but, the amount of memes that I've seen from that online where, like, every, time they cut to him, they try to someone has edited in his hair being just a little bit more big and insane. Either way, yes, lots of fun. I gave that a 4 to 5. I don't know if it's a perfect movie, but it's very, very fun. The unfortunate part, if you ever have to recommend this to someone, because again, I would definitely recommend this. You do have to watch 1, 2, and 3 to get to it. Number 1, very much a kids movie. 2, still mostly a kids movie. 3, this is where they're like, okay, this is starting to be almost teen. They're 13 technically. Yeah, I'd say maybe 3 and 4 are maybe my favorite. Yeah. Either way, if you can get through the first 3, which they're not that hard to get through, folks, spend the extra, I think, roughly 2 hours to watch Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which I believe is available on HBO Max. The parents just had a Blu-ray copy. They are slowly going through their collection. They got into movies before streaming and all that was a thing. So there's literally like part of what we did on sometime last week when I had no power. And I was like, well, I got nothing else to do. I guess I'll go over there and hang out with them a little bit. Trimming out dead weight from their collection of like 300 Blu-rays. I'm like, oh, I don't know the last time you saw this or have any interest in seeing this. Maybe you should donate it. Maybe you should give it to someone else. That kind of thing. So it does run in the family. It's not just me who likes movies. My brother, obviously, Hayden, the one I do the podcast, the Movie Bros with, the parents. Obviously, maybe not as much, maybe more now. It's been passing the torch kind of to us because they mostly just watch like British mystery shows. I don't know why that is like such a thing that people of a certain age gravitate. I mean, they're fun. I like solving a mystery, but that's kind of all they watch. With that, that's kind of all I watched this week, folks. I mean, actually, I thought that was going to be less. There is more movies in there than I thought there would be. However, I do apologize if it does feel light. This has been kind of an odd week between lack of power or Wi-Fi or just busyness. Still trying to figure exactly out how to balance all the eggs between working 2 jobs, having a dog, friends, family, other friend groups, potentially going on a date here and there, that kind of thing. Also going for a scuba dive because I like to scuba dive. Throwing pottery on a pottery wheel because we have a pottery wheel in our garage because we got into that. Have picked up a film camera that I've been trying to get through and trying to get into how to shoot film. All the other chores and errands and I don't want to complain and ramble, but I do this just for fun. So, and I try to keep these as consistently posted as possible. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there for the lighter episodes or the heavier episodes, either one, if this is your thing or not your thing. But I'd say today is Monday. On what day is that? On Thursday, look for a release from the Movie Bros for the Thanksgiving episode, which will be Knives Out and Fantastic Mr. Fox. 2 excellent movies. If you haven't seen either or of those, please check those out. They are really, really good. And then on, let's see, today's Monday. Then on, I believe, next Sunday, look for a release from the Movie Bros for Bone Tomahawk. which is a western with Kurt Russell about cannibals, I think, and like the the Wild West. I don't know. Don't know a ton about it. Hayden recommended it. Could be good, could be not. We're gonna find out. Listen in and find out if you want. It's also on Netflix if you want to check it out. I think that is everything that I have for you. And with that, I'll catch you all next week.